The Twisted Metal TV series nailed a lot of things, but the character transformations from game to screen might just be the best part, or at least the most inventive, so let's rank them. I think it's safe to say this show didn't just bring the games to life in a way that kept the spirit intact, but it also gave us some of the best live-action versions of these classic characters that we could have ever hoped to see. In an era when video game adaptations usually have all the flavor of stale bread, this time somebody, I don't know, played the game.
You cause nothing but chaos!
So we're gonna see how these adaptations stack up, but only the ones who aren't completely new. To qualify, they must at least share a name, even if that's it. And the reason I'm doing that is because that's the hard part. Transforming somebody iconic like Sweet Tooth or Mr. Grimm without losing what made them iconic isn't easy. So when a show puts in the effort to not only respect the legacy, but recreate it in a way that fits something narrative-driven, well, let's face it, it's not too common. I'm not saying the new characters aren't really good. I probably rank Quiet near the top, but when it comes to adaptations, this is where the concern lies. Still, to qualify, they have to do something, otherwise, what to go by? Pizza Boy, Drag Queen, Pit Viper barely do anything, some don't even speak. Death Warren and Junkyard die too fast to make an impact, and even though you may not have noticed, Club Kid is in this. So, now you know. That established, to avoid angry comments, let's see which character is the most, oh yeah, you were in the game.
Sorry, Calypso. I can't be tricked, and I won't be bought.
What's up? I really love the way you tased that twat like that.
Okay, so apparently we have 22 of these by my count, and since none of them are offensively bad, the bottom few come down to minimalism. Agent Shepard, Stone's right-hand man, is the epitome of this. He's overly unlikable, has no issue killing, leaves less than an impact, and for his game counterpart, a respectable FBI agent who succeeded in ending the contest, this isn't. It's literally name only, nothing unique to speak of, and the only memorable thing is his deserving death happening way too early to care, so it's not saving this. He serves his purpose as a one-sided sub-villain with no redeeming qualities, and if that's as bad as we get, not too bad.
Damn it! I am Simon Whittleborn! I am God!
Because I can crush anything with my massive penis.
Mr. Slam, who is again nothing like the game counterpart, gets one spot higher for having something worth noting. That being his massive penis. Possibly a good thing? I don't really care for the idea of a fan-favorite character becoming a cock joke. It is something to say. Appearing in only one episode, it's all we need. But a cheap joke that has nothing to do with anything isn't an example of clever recreation. He doesn't do anything, it's just meant to be funny. I'm not complaining if somebody likes this, it's fine, but I'm not one of those people. But I am somebody who doesn't like using clunky vehicles, and despise the way he fucking cheated, abusing his special and those damn freeze missiles, so I can't say that I care. A matter of fact, maybe you deserve this.
Guess Calypso tricked you too, huh, sis? Now we're both stuck out here.
I'm gonna make truck nuts out of your ball sack, milkman!
With the exception of the whole brother and sister joke, there is nothing to say about these two. I lumped them together for that reason. They at least make it through most of the season, so nothing wrong with them, but in the same vein, anything memorable would have been nice. They get killed pretty quickly during the climax, and drive Shadow for some reason. I guess they were fans of the 2012 reboot, as two cops driving that vehicle doesn't look right. That's about it. They're there, and have the same mom and dad. That's all there is to say. Bottom three is a compliment. Let's move on to somebody who actually does something.
Here I am. Okay, winner, right? Big time. Not a loser. Winner.
Not a loser!
And the worst character to, like I said, do stuff is based on my old favorite. I say based on as the biggest issue with Chucky Floop is despite being the second named person in the show known for driving Spectre, he has almost nothing to do with him. The other we'll get to, but in the case of Chucky, he's just an asshole. In most of the games, he wanted to be famous, but not an asshole. He steals Hammerhead's wish, being wanting to fly. The wiki says he drives Spectre, but it's powered by Quattro's AI for some reason. And in all honesty, the only relation is a white and blue car. This would be okay if he did something, but he doesn't. He's the first qualifier to lose in a stupid manner. His purpose is to be Mayhem's rival. Like I said, it's short-lived. And in reality, he's a plot device, providing a car for Mayhem to steal, being the mandatory person to act like that. The only positive is the way he dies. It's a good way to lead into the gimmick of characters dying based on their wish. Obviously, falling is close to flying, and since I love the idea of the wishes ending that way, this does kind of hint at it. Aside from that, a confusing addition, and honestly, Quattro is the better adaptation. Maybe I should have included him.
No, dude. Say the man.
This is Strawberry. She's a doctor and a lawyer. I met her in a strip club.
Sadly, Stu is the only main character who I don't like that much. I mean, in Season 1, he's fine, a great addition to play off Sweet Tooth, but the issue comes down to not doing anything new with him. First off, in Season 2, he never really explains why he's with Sweet Tooth again. After supposedly killing Mike, you'd think that'd be an issue, but he seems perfectly okay with it. And while you could argue he's just a coward, it doesn't excuse reusing the same ideas. Not the thing about Stu loving killing, that's new, but it's also short-lived, like an episode. And upon finding out Mike's not dead, he realizes that's no good, kinda like he did in Season 1, that is being around Sweet Tooth. And just like that, they make up, he again leaves, only this time it's willingly. They basically go with the same redemption arc, even though he never really did anything that bad. Yeah, he killed people, but so did John and Quiet in the same episode, so can't really fault that. Then again, are those guards doing anything wrong? Diesel City seemed pretty straightforward, like anti-violence. They're getting off on killing the innocent? Anyhow, off topic, Stu does have some good qualities, definitely a comedic addition. Not to mention being the champion. Sure, he doesn't relate to the game, but in this case his name is more of a reference. By no means unlikable, just not the best writing and my least favorite of the Hammerhead trio.
Fighting isn't cool, but it's up to me to save our beautiful planet.
Thankfully, I am a firm believer in the power of recycling.
Amber Rose is a character you don't really expect or initially want. I mean, who looks at Flower Power and Twisted Metal 3 and goes, yeah, that's an addition we need, let's adapt that. Luckily, we didn't get that. The hippie persona was abandoned, giving us a version that defines how to recreate a character. Plants and nature do still play a role, but in this case, they're used for sedation and torture.
His nickname is Mr. Gimpy Gimpy. The nettle's so nice, they named him twice.
Her vehicle Flower Power is present, though we don't see it in action, so for somebody who mostly appears in one episode, that's a good job. She does go back to the Juggernaut convoy for the finale, apparently had a romance with Miranda before being kicked out, but this doesn't go anywhere, as despite them appearing in the roster at the end of Season 1, it's the last we see of them. It does affect the ranking. If you're hardly going to be in the show, something has to happen. She did become an addition I did not expect to like, and if you can take stuff from those games and make them fresh, again, well done. Thing is, other characters with little screen time leave more of an impact, so maybe next season.
A paperback? You can't be serious. But, never Harold. No, you can't lie to me. We can't lie to anyone.
Yes, I chose to include Harold, because the show does, and despite not being real, they got the most they could out of this. Anybody else could have just made the reference and ended it, but instead the concept of Sweet Tooth's imaginary friend is taken to its limit. And in a good way. It's commonly given tasks you don't really see the outcome of, which is hilarious.
Harold, take the wheel!
They do a great job displaying his attachment. You fully believe it, it becomes somebody you kind of care about, but my decision to include him comes at the Season 2 latter half. In one of the most bizarre yet ingenious moments, Sweet Tooth envisions everyone as a lunch sack, who the fuck knows, and Harold becomes Alex from Final Destination, because apparently a lot of you like that. It's such a great payoff for the effort they didn't need to put in, being a defining moment that tells you this show is what other adaptations should strive to be. Then his rival Mr. Grimm kills Harold, and you know shit just got serious. The fact that Calypso puts him on trial for killing a fellow competitor is so good. He even finds him guilty. It's absolutely amazing, the most you could possibly get out of it, but being a paper bag, it can't get any higher. Just remember, it was Twisted Metal that took a one-off gag and made it into something this great.
They get everywhere! In the walls, in the bed, in the food, I can't catch them all!
I put ants in my pants, and it's not my fault that it felt good. I did it for a joke. Where's that fucker?
Not a whole lot to say about Vermin. Could have easily just been Goggle Eyes about the same thing, and it's overall another example of the character who acts like that. Pronouncing S's wrong, overly cliche, intentionally gross, it's the favorite of I'd Say Nobody. But that's the idea. Her wish is to exterminate all humans so bugs can take over. The character is one big joke, but opposed to Amber, she is in a lot of the season, so it's a higher spot by default. Not that I have a lot of issues with her, but I don't have a lot of pros either. There is the Mr. Grimm romance, which was nice to see, even if it ended almost immediately, but that's really all she does. She exists, so a fair spot.
We won the game, right? So you gotta give us our prize. Well, we won.
Congratulations. Creating the perfect little minion to do your bidding.
Mike is just a nice guy. Likeable addition, probably the least important of anybody who appears in both seasons, but I put Mike above Stu because he's not overdone. In the first season, he's the one to make the mistake, joining Stone, betraying Stu, eventually being redeemed, and despite having him somehow survive,
I mean, attempted murder is kind of a bad look for me.
He kinda just stays decent. Now the caveat is he's not that interesting, aside from telling Stu, what the fuck, man? Again. To be honest, I don't even know why they entered. Dave doesn't even want the wish. We don't find out what Mike's wish is. So why would two individuals who are this friendly enter a death contest? That's probably why you don't find out what the wish is, and he seems to kind of want it. His friendship with Dave is nice, it's fun seeing him and Stu make up and compete as a team in the end, but overall, he's just a nice guy. Despite him being fine in Season 2, he's only brought back for plot reasons. He doesn't do anything aside from making up the Mike and Dave duo, but he's likable, so that's enough.
I know she competed in Twisted Metal a few years back, and no one has heard from her since. You'd better talk, and talk fast.
The wind's about to change in our favor, Amber. A twister's coming.
Miranda Watts is simply given more to do, feeling like an important character in the first season, and a personality that isn't quite as gimmicky.
No harm's gonna come to you, we want to flap lips.
I don't even know what that means.
Also, we get to see her drive Twister. It's built up, it's effective, it's pretty damn cool. But like many others, only being in the first season despite not dying leaves a lot to be desired. If these characters come back in Season 3, it could completely change this list. Maybe discuss the whereabouts of Amanda Watts, that's an idea. But as of right now, she's just okay.
As I pushed that first pin down, I felt something give. It was like pushing into a person.
And if I want you to feel pain?
Uh-oh.
The new antagonist of Season 2 is again a mixed bag. I don't really care about the whole cast change. We can debate why that happened, it doesn't matter. The main thing here is Season 2, that's when she does stuff, and the downside to Raven is not making any unique changes. Like I said, in the game, it's pretty tragic. Her best friend Kelly is killed for no good reason, justifying revenge. But in the show, it's her own actions that cause it, essentially pranking someone, so there isn't any sympathy. I don't think there's supposed to be. She's the antagonist, it does make sense, but it doesn't mean you can't feel anything. Add a few layers to this. Instead, she's just kind of evil, a dictator. For the show, it works, it just isn't anything that impressive, like many others are. It's like they took the game and went a step down. Luckily, she's still fun. Having her side with John about the second wish is a good moment, gives her some development, and considering why she's there, it makes sense. The way they get around the cast change was a good idea too, implying they're just stand-ins to get more appeal. I can't fault that. Not bad by any means, just not impressive. A good antagonist, but not a great antagonist.
My prize. You put me on the world's biggest runway. You make me the center of attention.
And outsiders are dying because of you. We are just here to make things even.
Krista, aka Dollface, is exactly what she should be. Mostly. Being the leader of the dolls, she plays that role effectively, has a lot of good moments at the beginning, temporarily teaming up with Sweet Tooth is a highlight.
I'm
Sweet Tooth, I know.
Finally someone gets it.
And given the dolls were a faction in the last game too, it's a good way to update that character, even if that game's setup made no sense and sucked. As for her death, it's basically Loud's death done right, not doing it right away, letting the viewer get to know her, letting her and John bond a bit. It makes for a real tragic moment, especially because John was initially kind of distant, and those wondering why I bring up Loud again and how you could change it without completely altering the narrative. It's simple. Just don't show it. In the first episode, they could have not shown Loud die, just implied something happened when John first meets Quiet. And then the episode that goes back in time at the restaurant would be even better if you didn't know he was dead yet. It could be revealed then, after the great analogy about letting go. Think of how effective that would have been. Even the episode when she keeps envisioning him, you could get around that too. Maybe let the audience think he was locked up there, and that's why she went, or just not do the vision thing. I know I'm off topic, but the point is, Season 2 didn't waste a tragic scene by having it too early. Not to mention, it's a badass death too. Getting impaled by the Knights of Nebraska, who think it's a good idea to only have one weapon, and get out of the car for no reason. They all go as a result. I may not be a big fan of the second wish to bring her back, due to how it affects the plot. Along with her becoming Minion, I question how that may go. But given wishes play a big role in this, I could forgive her death being undone, which I usually couldn't. Krista, for the most part, is the exact character she needs to be. Maybe not top 10, but very close. So before that, you can hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy this content. It's apparent YouTube doesn't show anybody anything, so it's imperative you hit the bell, and if you can share the video, because the algorithm sucks too.
My Prince Charming is out there. I know he is, and I'll find him.
So, 7 shots in, Johnny bets me he can surf his car.
And now we have the other version of Spectre, a completely different Spectre, and this time absolutely nothing like the game. So no points for her transformation, but I do kind of feel she had the worst story in that game, so it's okay. More of a Harley Quinn deal and John's former lover. It's the exact kind of character you'd expect, vibrant, crude tone, somewhat resentful, and by the end, a problem. Upon finding out what the package is, because John is stupid, she tells everybody about the reward, also stupid, getting into a big brawl in which she gets the axe after Quiet gives her a chance to live.
Don't let revenge ruin a second chance.
This makes her a one-off character, even though, again, the bracket says otherwise. Also, it's not a bracket-themed tournament anyway. Did they not expect to get renewed? If she actually was in Season 2 opposed to Chucky Floop, that could have completely changed this? Maybe that was the idea. It would explain him being nothing like that character either. But Bloody Mary is yet another fun addition, limited to 1 episode.
Enough! Calypso, let me up! I can't take it anymore!
Sometimes you gotta throw it in reverse.
The fact that I put Granny Dread this high, the old lady who in one game drives Hammerhead for some reason, is really saying something. Obviously another character to have multiple different drivers adapted for the show, not just Spectre. I kinda messed up there, but I really like Granny Dread.
You're really weird.
I know that sounds odd, but I'd argue she's the most impactful one-off character. Being the last surviving member of the Convoy faction, and the reason John and Quiet go to see Amber Rose, supposedly to get medicine, she's someone who retains the crude, somewhat stereotypical personality, despite rapidly approaching death. The highlight here is what I consider to be one of the best moments in a mostly filler episode. The medicine ends up just being flowers, for the purpose of making her more comfortable in her last moments. And like I said, given she's somebody who's accepted death, having lived a satisfying life, I think that twist is just about perfect.
And I get to do something rare. I get to say goodbye to the people I love.
That said, the show's theme is kept intact, with her car exploding, and the only downside is the obvious dummy. Again, practical effects aren't cheap, something has to give. It's a meaningful scene and an unexpected amount of effort put in to somebody nobody asked to see. But opposed to pandering to the fans who only like 3 games, pretty much everything was included in this show. Even Small Brawl got a nod. And Granny Dread is the inclusion I never thought I wanted.
And that's it. The memories end there. I don't think I like the man I'm turning out to be.
90? Where the hell is 89?
Obviously, John Doe is the most important character to not be original. In fact, he is the most important character. He's the lead. I think maybe the reason they gave him that name, feeling he has to be from one of the games. But in all honesty, that's the extent of it. Like in Twisted Metal Black, he has amnesia, but the reasoning isn't remotely similar. So he's basically a new character, and again, I respect that choice. Honestly, it's very uncommon to take a show adaptation and make the head guy somebody who relates to nothing. The only thing is, I prefer most the rest of the main cast. I definitely prefer Quiet, we'll get to the true lead later, but I just don't find John to be the most fascinating character. He's definitely good and does grow throughout the season, mostly consistent, not taking things too seriously, somewhat maturing, I guess. Him bonding and reacting to losing his sister is a highlight. While I don't love what the second wish leads to, his reasoning for doing it does make sense. And when Evelyn got blown up, it did have some meaning, but not much goes beyond that. I don't care for the dilemma of going back for Evelyn, as you know. Him and Quiet arguing so often is lazy. But to be blatantly honest, I don't normally like the lead the most. Sometimes I do, like with Squid Game, obviously, and Red Dead Redemption 2, even though some prefer Dutch or John Marston, but usually that's for a reason. They are the focus, the story is built around them. In Twisted Metal, with so many vibrant, entertaining characters, that's not gonna happen. He's not the best thing about the show, I don't think that's too disputed or even that bad of a thing. In a series like this, 8th spot is good, some may find it too low, but Lionel is a decent lead.
Whoa, look at this place, dude. This is so cool. Check out all the babes.
Just remember, the road to self-discovery is a long and arduous one. Hey, one love.
Man, do I love Dave. Easily the best of the Hammerhead trio, and just a breath of fresh air. Taking a guy who's basically a cannibal and making him into the nicest guy possible is an ingenious way to completely subvert the expectation.
And I don't like it. I freaking love it. You want to be a part of the inner circle? Yeah, guess what? We got space, muchacho.
You know something bad is probably coming eventually, and even though that is very well done, upon accidentally tasting blood after Axel's rampage, you see his expression change. A very easy thing to miss, and yeah, I would have liked to have seen him last a bit longer before going full cannibal, but that's the way it goes. This is a cutthroat show. That's why some characters can't even make the list. He's still in a good part of it, makes the most out of every moment. And not to mention, Dave, Mike, and Stu, getting it all 3 is amazing. It's a type of contrast that enhances every scene he's in. And yes, I will put Dave above John Doe, because he is pure and simply more memorable. May have been short-lived, but I can't complain.
That the demon wasn't real. The voice inside me was a figment of my imagination.
I was once by a little demon baby. Fucker made me kill a whole church of people.
Similar to Dave, I give the preacher a very high spot, but for the opposite reason. He's just fucking crazy. That's what he is. And what better way to alter that character to fit the show?
But then I realized, no! We are the gods! Always have been, always will be!
He's comedic, very psychotic, pretty damn terrifying. Easily takes out John Doe, only loses through bad luck. And he even has the game's backstory, only a bit different. You may notice which ones haven't come up yet, proving how much I like the preacher. Basically the best character to not play a big role, but again, he's just one-off. That wasn't the idea, it sadly came down to scheduling, so the explosion became what killed him. The two holy men aren't even close to as good. Saying he was reincarnated isn't that fascinating. In the same vein as Bloody Mary, I wish we got more of him. The charismatic mayhem he provided makes him one of my favorites. And if not for Season 2 giving us so many great new ones, well, you know, it'd be a lot higher. Being in a single episode limits it, but a hell of a time.
If I die in this contest, I'm fine with that. Hell, I'll welcome it.
You are larger than us, and stronger.
There are thousands of souls within, and we never get tired.
Okay, so I may have said Mr. Grimm was my favorite new character in Season 2, but I was mainly just going by personal taste. I mean, he's fucking badass. How could I not? His look is unique, it's perfect. His intro was one of the show's highlights. Having a dead father named Captain Grimm, I can't contain the references. He still steals souls, but he may just be crazy. They are possibly not real. And damn, can he handle a sickle. Need I say more? Need I say more? Top spot, done. He can even dance, pretty sick moves. If you're a fan of Mr. Grimm, which you should be, what else could you want? The rivalry with Sweet Tooth is a great new addition. You eventually find out it's down to popularity, like at the asylum, and that alone leads to so many great scenes. I already mentioned Burning Herald, but the trial, it's so damn fun. And when it comes to a head in the final round, all I can say is,
are you not entertained?
This is what you've been waiting for, despite them both already being eliminated. This is it. Not the fight against Minion, not to see who wins, not anybody's wish. This fucking duel right here. His death, perfect. He may not be coming back, but he doesn't need to. Nothing could surpass this. Grimm is amazing. The only reason he's number 5 is complicated. While Grimm combines what made the character so good in the games into one great adaptation, some others did more unique stuff and did it in unexpected ways. I'm not complaining, but it is a ranking video that puts personal taste aside, so despite him possibly being my favorite, 5th will have to be good enough.
I am Calypso, and I thank you for playing Twisted Metal.
Thank you for playing Twisted Metal.
The main difficulty in adapting Calypso, a guy who's known for appearing in short cutscenes and never diverting too much from his unique personality, was something that did concern me. In fact, it did from the moment the show was brought up. The TV setting didn't seem too feasible, but given his position, they pulled it off. It's the perfect combination of everything that made him great, the charisma, the humor, the pure entertainment. But the pitfall characters like him tend to fall into is essentially losing who they are. Like if he's gonna be a series mainstay, making him evil wouldn't be a good idea. Instead lean toward relatability. That's the way they could have gone, but luckily somebody realized that's fucking stupid. He's still very evil and conniving. The idea of twisting the wish at the end was not removed. And to top that off, he kills tons of spectators, frames John and Quiet. He is now the main bad, but given everything was basically his domain in the games, that makes sense. We don't really know where his power comes from yet, but he definitely has it. And going into Season 3, he becomes this intimidating foe that must be stopped. And I'll tell you, he really does earn that status. He's maniacal, he enjoys destruction, it's always been apparent, but in this TV setting, it's really fleshed out. Which is the idea, it's why they make video games into TV shows. That may have not seemed feasible, but Calypso and many others proved how wrong that was. Even his backstory, pitching the contest to NBC, a concept that somehow worked.
The winner of my tournament will get their greatest wish granted.
And he becomes this new, reimagined version that excites me the most compared to anything in future seasons. Honestly, I don't see it topping Season 2, and I don't think the reviews will either, but Calypso, that I want to see more of. Anthony Carrigan took this character and ran with it, seems to have had a great time doing it, not exactly transformed, more so enhanced, but that's all he needed. Only outdone by a few who completely shattered any expectation.
I am a free man, and you are no longer my father.
When When they introduced Axel as essentially being the head-on counterpart, I thought, okay, an odd choice, but I suppose that works. His intro was still really fucking cool. You know they meant business when they addressed the obvious weakness, being an easy target. But as the season goes on, it only becomes more fascinating. After his backstory involving being a hitman and saving some baby he's supposed to kill, you find out that baby is in fact Mayhem, adding a whole new layer. Not because he might have to kill her, you know that means nothing. Death is not mandatory, explosions rarely kill, but he does end up having to save her, and that's when you think, wow, effort was put in. Raven's lightning melts him to his vehicle, giving him his wish to be free of his metal arms. A wish you don't see in the show, it was confirmed elsewhere. I really hate that. But now he is again one machine, trapped like the old games. Did anybody expect this to go in reverse? The fact that they've given us two variations of Axel in such an unexpected manner is so creative, he has to have this spot. I personally don't like him more than Grimm or Calypso or a few others, but you can't deny the devotion and how great this moment is. It solidifies him as one of the best. Like Calypso, I can't wait to see more of him, and that's not even the only memorable scene. The bit when he kills the Apocalypse 9, the Crash Test Dummy song that I'm not gonna pronounce, what could be better? Like I said, the music is great in this, Axel is simply badass, and the acting is really good too. No complaints to the Axel fans, which you should be. What else could you want? The answer is nothing, and he's definitely worthy of the top 3.
I couldn't focus. I wanted to send these killers to hell where they belonged.
Wanting to be protected, wanting to be safe. But you know what they really wanted? They just want to be kept in line.
The contrarian in me really wanted to give Agent Stone the top spot, and I almost did. Kinda like how I'd say Yellow Jacket's lost ending is the best in the series, but we know it isn't, it's Sweet Tooth and Black. And in a similar vein, Stone is just that good. He's the perfect example of taking somebody from the game, altering it to be something completely different, but still making it obvious it's that person. Being a corrupt cop who believes in killing people for minor crimes, you may wonder how that relates. Unless you've seen the show, then you won't. In the game, his rage over criminals going free leads him to kill a family by accident, causing him to wish for a second chance. Obviously, none of that is present here. Instead, he was a mall cop who was commonly disrespected. But as the apocalypse went down, he still tried to make people vacate the premises, despite being desperate, and the continuous insults causes him to lose it. This is when, if you haven't yet, start taking the show seriously. Upon killing everybody, he finds a stuffed bear, similar to the one in the game, meaning he accidentally killed a child, but he still justified it, saying it was their fault.
You did this! I was here to help! You had to resist! This is your fault! You broke the law!
While some may look past this moment defines exactly what this character is, and honestly, one of the show's best scenes. It brings everything full circle, makes Stone into a very obvious adaptation of that person, but it does it in a way that's still completely new. Not to mention everything else. His personality fits the show perfectly, he's a guy you really want to see get his comeuppance, and we do. It's fantastic. Taking an axe to the face, it was so well deserved. We do leave it open to him not being dead as we don't see it, but I don't think he should come back. That might be overdoing it, and given she said he'd bleed out, if he somehow doesn't, it'd just be a self-inflicted dilemma. Kinda like Miles in Avatar, despite how stupid the reasoning may be. And now you see why Raven was a bit of a letdown. Nothing creative like this, not even close to as entertaining. I really wanted to give Stone the #1 spot, but, you know, I can't do that.
Dang old dutting on moves on man gonna say bow bow.
I for one think it's time for men's voices to take a backseat.
I know you're thinking, but the very observant fan will realize Jeremy was actually in the game. No, I'm just kidding, but I do like Jeremy.
Now that I'm free, I'm going to be the greatest of all time. But everyone will know my name. Satan!
Yeah, it has to be Sweet Tooth, even though it's very likely the common pick. He's what I meant by the true lead, and it just shows how smart this show is. As we know, it's a dual performance, Samoa Joe doing the movement, Will Arnett voicing, and that really is the defining factor. The fact is, if you listen to Samoa Joe, I could see him doing the whole thing. His voice does kind of suit that.
The core concept of Sweet Tooth is just a very chaotic mind, and he handles things in a very chaotic way. A lot of mood swings. The wind whips his demeanor around quite violently.
I think that voice kind of fits the black variant of Sweet Tooth, but the thing is, for a TV series giving us the Sweet Tooth who mindlessly kills, wouldn't be easy to place in that narrative. Unless he was the main antagonist, but I don't think we really want that, so having Will Arnett give him that comedic shift completely reinvents the character. In a good way. It allows it to be a lot like the games, a love for killing still clearly insane, but if they just blatantly copied his black counterpart, it wouldn't really work. It's not just this idea that makes him great, though the voice acting, even the movement, captures him perfectly.
Oh, so now you're all dancing. Unbelievable.
It's really how I envisioned it, but when you consider what they did with him, it really becomes a no-brainer. Having him seek popularity is a great way to reinvent who he is. Even his backstory is kind of sad. They made you feel for him. And then you have the grim rivalry giving new motivation. His friendship with Stu adding some contrast. And then they even throw in the fire hair, as in logic be damned, we know what the fans want. I've already discussed a lot of Sweet Tooth's great moments, but the future is definitely interesting. Being taken to see his father, Charlie Kane, I really can't wait to see where that's going. But to take a classic character like this and adapt him into a TV setting really doesn't fit in a TV setting. I don't know how it could have been done better. I mean, compared to Joel and Ellie, which was easy, look how that went. Even making the Avatar into a show led to dumb, fucking weird moments, and that already was a show. But with the right attention, effort actually put in, something that seems like a really bad idea can prove to be the most effective. The comparison I just made is why the show is so good. It doesn't get automatic season renewals, and it can't do whatever the fuck it wants. It had to, you know, give the fans something worth watching. What a crazy concept that is. And if anything about this, on top of many, emphasizes that idea, Sweet Tooth is the name. It's one of the best adaptations from game to show. It's commendable stuff, and despite being a cliche pick, only the #1 spot fits. And that concludes ranking every Twisted Metal character who appeared in the game. You know, mostly. Let me know your opinions down below, what I got wrong, surely a lot, and you can hit the like button, consider subscribing, but most importantly, share the video, as YouTube, a long time ago, quit doing that. Oh, and don't forget to hit the bell. Notifications commonly don't work either. I'm the analyst, and remember kids, put the time in. It's about all it takes.